All right, if you're prepping for the NMAT, you're in the right place. Today, we're going to talk about a seriously powerful tool that top scores use to handle the sheer volume of information on this exam. I'm talking about mnemonics. And believe me, this isn't just about simple memory tricks. It's about a fundamental shift to studying smarter. So here's what we've got on tap. We'll start by looking at the challenge, what I call the NMAT memorization mountain. Then, I'll introduce you to your new superpower for memory. After that, we'll dive into a bunch of ready-to-use mnemonics, show you how to create your own, and finally, wrap it all up into a winning study strategy. You know that feeling, right? Anyone who's studying for the NMAT gets it. The exam covers this huge landscape of knowledge, especially Part 2, with its deep dive into biology, chemistry, and physics. It really can feel like you're standing at the bottom of a mountain of facts you need to climb. And that leads to the big question, the one every single test taker asks themselves. With that clock ticking down, how on earth do you not only learn all this stuff, but actually remember it in the heat of the moment? It's a real battle, not just against the material, but against time itself. I mean, let's just be real about what we're up against. The academic side of the NMAT is basically a 4-subject sprint. You've got everything from cellular biology and chemical reactions to the laws of physics and sociological theories. The amount of information your brain has to process is, well, it's massive. But what if you had a superpower to help you manage all that? Well, that's exactly where mnemonics come in. And these aren't just little tricks. No, they are actual cognitive tools backed by science designed to make your learning and your recall way more efficient. So what is a mnemonic, really? At its heart, it's just a mental shortcut. It works by creating what we call a cognitive anchor. It links something new and complicated, like a biological process, to something your brain already knows, like a simple phrase or a funny image. It taps into the way our brains naturally make connections, which makes the info so much easier to store and, most importantly, pull out when you need it on test day. And this right here is the real advantage. Think about it this way. Using a mnemonic isn't just about memorizing. It's about skipping that first slow step of just trying to remember a fact. And what that does is it frees up so much precious mental energy during the exam. That means you have more brain power left for what really gets you points. Analyzing the questions, thinking through the options, and solving the hard problems. It's a total game changer for efficiency. Okay, theory's great, but let's get practical. Let's build your toolkit. This next section is just a rapid-fire list of some of the most effective, high-yield mnemonics for the NMAT, so you might want to get ready to take some notes. Let's go. First up, a classic biology problem, telling your purines and pyrimidines apart. It's actually super simple with this trick. For purines, just think pure as gold. That's your adenine and guanine. For the pyrimidines, you just need to remember to cut the pie for cytosine, uracil, and thymine. See? Simple, memorable, and you'll never mix them up again. And the list goes on. For the heart valves, a great one is labrat. Left atrium gets the bicuspid, right atrium gets the tricuspid. For that all-important sodium-potassium pump, it's PISO, potassium in, sodium out. Embryonic stages, easy. My baby grows. Marula, blastula, gastrula. And for plant transport, it's almost a sound alike. Phloem carries food. Honestly, these are easy points on the test if you just lock them. Chemistry is absolutely filled with lists and formulas that are just begging for a good mnemonic. The ideal gas law, PV equals nRT. How about pure virgins never really tire? To remember those 7 diatomic molecules, a classic is have no fear of ice-cold beer. And for oxidation-reduction reactions, you absolutely cannot beat oil rig. Oxidation is loss, reduction is gain. Now, physics can feel pretty intimidating, but mnemonics are perfect for locking in those core formulas. For the work equation, just remember that lots of work makes me mad. That's work equals mass times acceleration times distance. And for trigonometry, which you'll need all the time for vectors, the classic SOH-CAH-TOA is an absolute lifesaver. Oh, and here's a fantastic shortcut for optics, which is a topic that comes up a lot. For any diverging system, so we're talking convex mirrors and concave lenses, the image they make is always an SUV. What's that stand for? Small, upright, and virtual. Just remembering that one simple rule can help you knock out wrong answers instantly. So, in social science, it's less about formulas and more about telling similar-sounding concepts apart. A perfect example is cultural relativism versus ethnocentrism. You have to know that one means looking at a culture by its own standards, while the other is judging it by yours. Getting this distinction right is key, because the NMAT loves to test how you apply these definitions to different scenarios. Okay, so you've seen a bunch of powerful examples, but you know what's even more powerful? The mnemonics that you make up yourself. Seriously. Research shows that when you create your own, the information sticks even better. So let's talk about how you can start forging your own mental tools. It's actually a really simple four-step process. First, just figure out the exact piece of information you need to remember. Second, create a simple acronym or a memorable little phrase. Third, and this is the secret sauce, make it personal, make it funny, make it totally weird. The more outlandish it is, the better it will stick in your memory. And finally, don't just make it and leave it. You have to practice it, use active recall to test yourself, and really hammer it into your long-term memory. So the most important thing is how we pull all this together, right? How does this fit into a smart, winning study strategy? Because remember, mnemonics are a fantastic tool, but they aren't the entire toolbox. And this is maybe the single most important thing to remember. Mnemonics are an amazing supplement, but they are not a substitute for really understanding the concepts. You still have to know why the ideal gas law works or how the heart actually functions. The mnemonics just help you remember the key facts faster, so you can apply that deeper knowledge you've built. At the end of the day, the best strategy is a balanced one. You put in the hard work to build a solid foundation of real understanding. Then you layer a powerful library of mnemonics on top of that, some that you find and some that you create yourself. That combination is what ensures you not only know the material, but can access it super quickly when you're under pressure. So, as we wrap up here, I want to leave you with a little challenge. Go look at your notes right now. Find one concept, one formula, one list that just isn't sticking, and take a minute to create your very first mnemonic for it. So what's the first memory anchor you're going to create today?